Hey everybody. So today we're taking another little road trip, this time to get a motorcycle for me. Not like I really need another one, but what the heck. So this is apparently a 1973 or 1974 Moto Guzzi 850 California maybe, or an Eldorado. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know what difference there is really, but my father bought this bike sometime in the, I'm guessing, late 80s, and was gonna, fix it up, and it pretty much never happened. So he was going to get rid of it, and I said, well, I wouldn't mind having it. So he gave it to me for my 50th birthday. This is the license plate that's on it, so I'm assuming that's the last time on the road. I did ride it once in 1996. Seemed to ride fine. I remember we drained the fuel out of the carbs or ran it dry, but apparently we didn't empty the tank. Well, we'll look at that later, but there's still fuel in there from 1996. So anyway, unfortunately, missing some pieces. I think the side covers, there's a little toolbox. But from what I understand, this is a loop frame Moto Guzzi that they made from, the loop frames, I guess, were 67 to 76. I'm assuming they call them loop frames because it has this loop right here. Apparently, whoever had it before was going to paint it, fix it up, something, so they disassembled it, and that's how it ended up. It had a gigantic Vetter fairing and a tail trunk, saddlebags, all that stuff's taken off of it. One thing kind of cool is this dash. I guess they call this the police dash because they made these as police bikes. We'll get into more of that later. So that's what we have. Oh yeah, there's the wiring. That should be a lot of fun. It does have four drums front and rear. These were a 5-speed transmission, I guess Moto Guzzi's first. Shaft drive, which looks like it's oozing a little bit. So I'm sure as I get into this, we'll find a bunch of things that need to be fixed. Here's the tail trunk that was on it. I don't think that's going back on. I'm not sure what all the holes were for, but they put a bunch of them in there. I thought this was kind of cool. It's like a 1978 Texas inspection sticker. Had this huge, I guess, rack around the saddlebags in the back, so this thing must have been pretty massive when they had all that stuff on there. So it's cold out here. We'll get it in the garage and take a further look. I might be better off just taking this tank off and dumping it outside down. But it has 2 petcocks, one for each carburetor. Let's see if anything will come out. I can't turn it. Oh yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yep. Nothing out of there, so we'll just take it off and flip it over. So over here on this side, there's another petcock. Actually get fuel to come out of this, which makes sense with 2 petcocks. One is likely the primary and one's the reserve, because down at the bottom of the carburetors, there's a tube that connects them. So we'll see how long that'll drain. And there is evidence of repainting. So it almost looks like it was painted with a brush too. Underneath, there's a gray or almost a blue, so I wonder if this was a different color to begin with. think maybe once we get the tank off, be able to determine that. We'll let that drain. So that's about all that came out, and of course it smells horrible, like old gas. But I already loosened this. And there was no bolt in the front, so I would guess this will just lift off with the hoses disconnected. Guess I should have turned that off. There's probably still a gallon in here. While I was waiting for the tank to drain, I pulled the petcock out of this side. That's it, and it says Reserva, so I'm assuming this is the reserve side. Figured, I already loosened this, figured we would pull the main out. It says Normala, so there you go. That makes a little more sense now. While I was also waiting for that, I noticed some black lines on here. It looks like this bike was probably originally black, because you can peel off the red underneath. That's the gray, which I guess is their primer, and then it's black underneath. So I'm going to see if I can very gingerly remove this red and this primer. We'll make this thing black. Unfortunately, with all that, I'm assuming that's I don't know how they attach that. Let's find out. I'm sure it's going to take off the black paint. It actually didn't look like they were on straight anyway. One side looked like it was going uphill and one downhill. Yep, good old double stick tape. So actually, I'm able to get all that off too. So we might get lucky and there might be the whole chrome side saddle or knee guard on there. And actually, looks like right there does appear to be a little bit of chrome. All right, so let me do a little research on what I need to do to get this paint off here without destroying the underlayer. But for right now, we can air this thing out, and then we'll either try my little borescope, or I got one at work I can bring home. We can see how bad the tank is inside. While we're here, we get the battery out. Pretty sure it's dead. Obviously, it's not exactly the correct battery for this, but it worked. Oh, come on. That black thumb doesn't work too well still. That battery hold down is tip top. That thing's in awesome shape. Kind of surprising. tray below it looks good too. So that's the battery that's in here, which apparently is not even a good part number anymore. I don't even think it was right. But I'll do a little research, or some people can advise me, but I think generally a garden tractor battery will fit in here. So I think that's the route we'll go to begin with anyway, because they're like 30-40 bucks. So this is an air-cooled engine, obviously, but it's kind of different because it's a V that's set sideways in the frame, and up above in the V of the engine is a generator which charges everything. From what I understand, there's a belt behind there and drives a generator. So we can go ahead and look at that, and perhaps we can get something on the end of the crankshaft and make sure the engine still turns, because this only has an electric starter and I really don't want to run it if those cylinder bores can get screwed up. So we'll just make sure it turns. We should probably see what this belt looks like anyway. Hell, it could be original, who knows. There we go. Actually doesn't look too bad. Let's see if we can get something on there that'll turn that. Is it a 24? It is not a 24. Is it a 25? I don't know why I have a 25 millimeter wrench, but good thing I do. All right, let's see if it turns. It does. Sounds like it's making compression too. Alright, well, that's good. One thing I neglected to show earlier is I found the dipstick, and apparently the engine oil fill also. It's down there, and it does have oil in it, and it's fairly clean, but pretty sure we'll change it. If I don't say I'm going to do that, someone's going to roast me in the comments. So I think I'll leave it there for right now. Might work on cleaning up some of that wiring, taking off some of this extraneous bracketry that we're not going to use, and kind of trying to sort some of this out and figure what all that is. And we'll bring you back for the next episode. Thanks for watching. See you soon.